Hey y'all, Coach Remy here. And earlier this week on Monday, I shared the two real reasons why you probably don't feel like you're qualified for the jobs that you want, or the jobs that you're looking for don't pay you what you really need, or even pay you what you're getting paid right now. Um, and that's due to a whole bunch of factors. There's not just one single thing. Each person's case is really unique. And so when I work with my clients, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, what's your story? Where are you at? Where do you want to be? What are your talents? It's individualized, but I can say that in my experience, the majority of it is in fact because of experience. The experience that you have and the education as well, but the experience you have doesn't match up to the experience that's required of certain positions. So imagine you're at a company, you've posted a job for a corporate trainer, and you're looking for someone specific, someone who will fit into your company, someone who has a certain amount of experience in doing the things that you need them to do, and maybe somebody who has experience doing something that you've thought about doing for your team but haven't really had the expertise to do. So you're posting your job description and getting all of these resumes that don't really sound like a match. Some of them don't have the required degrees, some of them don't have the required experience, or people who've been working as a corporate trainer for years and years and years, you look at their experience points and you're just not really thrilled about it. And there's a reason for that. Most of the time, when you're talking about your experience in your resume, you're not really writing it for the job that you're considering. And I'll talk a lot more about resume writing in future weeks. But for now, I want to talk about how you can actually get your experience to match the experience that they want. Obviously, the first thing is to read their position description and figure out what you've done that actually speaks to that position. So if they're asking for someone who has experience creating an annual training plan, can you create an annual training plan? Have you done that before? That's your opportunity to ask if you can create the training plan for your company where you're at. Create a training plan for your team. If you're, let's say you're just working in sales, or let's say you're working in IT, but you want to be a corporate trainer, then how can you create the training plan for your team? You can have that experience. You just need to ask for it. So that's really that first method of getting your experience to match your that experience to match your job desires is taking on a new project. So the easiest way is to find the jobs that you really want. You can look based off of salary, you can look based off of descriptions, you can look based off of company, but ultimately you're going to find a position that's open and you're going to find a position description. And so what you need to do is go through all of those experience points that they list and think of a story. Think of a time that you actually applied that. And here's why this is key. First, it'll help you to write your bullet points in your experience. It'll help you to write them in a way that they want to see it, in a way that makes sense to them. The second thing it's going to do is later on, when you get asked to interview, you're going to have stories. So when you get interviewed, they're going to ask you, can you tell us a time when you had to XYZ? How did it go? What were the biggest challenges? You know, think about these things from the perspective of the person hiring. Don't just look at it from your perspective and, you did this project and it helped these many people and total cost savings of X amount of dollars. X amount of dollars, I mean, it might not even seem like that much to the company that you're applying to. Coming from, going from the telecom into oil and gas, like the zeros were tacked on quite a bit. So any money amount that I put on my resume wasn't going to make a difference to them. It wasn't going to be spectacular. But what was spectacular to them was me being able to show them how I had accomplished the things they were looking for in a very succinct statement. So take on new projects. Ask your boss if maybe there are other projects that you can take on to get that experience. Ask other departments. If you go to the directors in other departments and say, hey, what's something that you really find challenging in this particular area? And can I start a project group? Can I help you tackle that? Taking on these new projects will give you a very targeted experience. The next way that I'm going to talk about is creating a group. So sometimes it's more of the managerial and soft skills that they're looking for. And it's kind of difficult to show how you've managed people if you're not in a people manager role. Um, it it's not something you can just suddenly wake up and go to work and say, "Hey, I want to manage people," and your boss is like, "Okay, cool." But you can create a group and be that group organizer and that group leader. So think about things in your company that are maybe lacking. Do they have a diversity group? Do they have an inclusion group? Do they have Americans with Disabilities group? Do they have, all these different groups, stay at home mom group or working single mom group or working single dad group or dad support? All these different groups you can create and host events and host meetings and host get togethers. And this group can turn into your opportunity to actually manage people. And that's an experience where you've had to organize an entire team. So, those are my two big tips. The first one being take on a new project, figure out how you can get a project in your current role to match the experience of the job that you want tomorrow, or create a new group. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.